Hey Chaffey Panthers, and welcome to the very first episode of What's in the Wind by The Breeze. I'm your host, Loureyna Pablo, and I'm so excited to share this new project with y'all. What's in the Wind will discuss what's going on at Chaffey and connect Chaffey-centric topics to larger ideas like community, identity, and more. I'll be joined by guest hosts featuring Chaffey staff, students, and faculty. Maybe we'll even get outside guests. Who knows, I'm just going wherever the wind is taking me. Right now, the wind is taking me somewhere that's been a place of interest and intrigue for the past few years. Someplace noisy, dusty, big, and set to open in spring 2026. I think that the wind has taken me to the library building that's in construction. And it also looks like the wind has brought me our first guest host, Ms. Carol Hutte, librarian at the Rancho location of Chaffey College.
Hello.
Hello, Carol, and welcome to What's in the Wind. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
So I'm Carol Hutte. I'm a librarian faculty. I'm based here at Rancho site, and I've been at Chaffey for 23 years.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. Well, welcome. I'm so honored to have you as my first guest.
Good to be here as well. Thank you for inviting me.
Actually, I have an ulterior motive to getting you on here.
What is that?
I'm actually trying to unofficially reserve a spot in the new library building because it might be crowded when it opens.
Well, I'm not coordinating, so I can't help you out. Sorry.
I'm joking. I actually wanted to talk to you because I bet, like me, other students are really curious about this mysterious project. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Okay, so with the Measure P funds, our building was on the list to get redone or have a new building. If you've been to our Rancho campus library, you'll notice that it does have an older feel to it. It is one of the oldest buildings, I think, in the district at this point. It needs a lot of upgrades, so we are at the point where with the Measure P funds, we got a new building, and it's the Library and Learning Commons, because there are going to be several other departments in there. We're going to have a Success Center in there. The Faculty Success Center and Distance Education are also going to be in the building, as well as supplemental instruction.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. About how long has this project taken? When did it start?
I don't remember. It probably started getting into fruition as soon as Measure P passed. I remember being on the work group during COVID, so that would have been spring 2021 is when they were we were meeting with the architects and kind of discussing, what this building would look like and how it would be built. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff has to go into the planning, and so the actual building is kind of a very short time frame.
I see. Well, can you tell us more about what the new building is going to be for?
So it's going to have the library and the library collections. Librarians' offices will be there. We're really excited about the third floor. The bulk of our physical collection is going to be located, as well as the computers. And especially with the balconies out there, I personally, having a nice view and windows, being able to kind of see the valley, I'm kind of really looking forward to that for sure.
That's cool.
So hopefully first day of classes, at least that's what they're telling us. Our people in our department, including myself, did get to take a tour of the building recently. When was that? About a month ago. We had to wear hard hats, go through the entire safety briefing. It was really interesting to see it. I think the thing that shocked me the most was they're going to have wooden bookshelves. Yeah, and so I don't think I've worked in a library that had actual wooden bookshelves. It's all been metal. So I found that extremely interesting.
Is it going to be like modern wooden bookshelves, or is it going to be like...
Yeah, they're brand new, or at least they look brand new. Yeah, so they were still setting those up.
What's in the Wind is a part of Chaffey's student-run news outlet, The Breeze. We publish stories about Chaffey and for Chaffey, serving as a voice of the campus and striving to provide coverage that resonates. Have you heard about the ICE shooting in Ontario? Not yet? Well, check out Miranda Morgan's story, ICE shooting in Ontario on Vineyard Avenue following increased immigration enforcement. More interested in arts and entertainment? Check out Xavier Chavez's take on the best kart racing game of 2025. We also have many more stories to check out on our website, thebreezepaper.com, with more Chaffey news, features, opinions, and more. We also have our mag coming soon. We don't have a date for it to be published and passed out yet, but stay tuned for that. And now, back to our discussion with Carol. So, post-pandemic, I think it's really important for us to have a third space. Do you think that the library could be that place for students to connect with others?
It already has. That's been one of our real focuses, especially as we were transitioning back in, especially with some of the faculty that I work with and staff. They have really kind of worked to make it so that people come not necessarily with a goal in mind, but if they need a place to hang out, even if it's just to get out of the heat. It's been kind of warm the past couple of days, or the rain. But recently, for instance, we've added board games. We have the chess club that meets in there. We have chess sets set up, and also kind of creating an atmosphere where people can come and hang out. Because for me personally and for my colleagues, I think that developing that sense of community, of connection with students, that's what creates a sense of belonging, in my opinion. It's like if we have that connection and you have it in a space where it's like people can come and go, I think it's really, really critical, especially post-pandemic, that it's like, okay, here's my human connection. Here's my personal connection, my touchstone with this place.
What do you think students will gain from this new library and also the old one? More study spaces, new tech areas to hang out?
Yes, we are going to have a ton of study spaces. If you've been in our old building, you'll know that we only have the 8 on the east side of the building, and there are also some other sort of group spaces, but they're kind of open. This building is going to have several study rooms of various sizes, and also right now, our largest study spaces only really seat about 8 people, which isn't a lot, depending on what students happen to be working on. So having some of that flexibility will be really nice. I personally am looking forward to a building that will have more electrical cords. That's been a real struggle dealing with an older building. And so just the updated technology is something that we are very much looking forward to as well. And that will be available for students so that they can have that to be more successful or to experiment also with what they're doing in classes and other things.
That sounds cool.
So a question for you. How do you as a student, how do you use the library? Do you see it as a third space? Is that something that the fellow students that you work with or are around, is that something that they do?
Well, right now, I feel like especially coming out of the pandemic, I was someone who was a freshman during the pandemic. So transitioning to
that's tough.
It was something.
That was,
really getting out there and exploring the school and going to the different parts of school, including the library, has been a struggle for me. And also I'm someone where I don't really go out that much. So having the library as a third space is actually really nice. I've found myself make really good connections there with my friends, and it's really nice. I feel like also the library is a space where you can conduct research, but outside of that online sphere. Especially with the pandemic. And even now, I feel like a lot of my learning has been online. And I feel like that can be so overwhelming sometimes. Like, my text for my English classes are all online. Yeah. And so I feel like having that option for students to connect with someone in person instead of asking ChatGPT and then or like touching a physical book and like really having that space to study that's also not like home or work is really nice. And I feel like this new library building would really call to attention the people who haven't really explored the library before, because I feel like it's something new, big and shiny that people are like, okay, maybe I'll give it a try, and it'll be a nice introduction into the library space.
This is something, and I'll be honest, I am a Gen Xer, so I'm coming through that lens. I'm not a digital native, as they would say. I saw the internet kind of come through, and now we're dealing with kind of Gen AI, generative artificial intelligence, as the next sort of printing press sort of level mover and shaker. But I have noticed that need for tactile, that need for the physical, for the personal, and also local, it has really increased post-pandemic. In the past 2 to 3 years, I have had more questions from students wanting to either browse the physical collection or wanting specifically a physical book than I probably have had like in the previous 15 years. And so I have seen a notable switch and demand for that physical. And we're kind of trying to address that, really updating our collections and really purchasing more physical books, but also creating a space that is comfy and cozy. I mean, my colleagues, they'll do a lot of displays, rotating displays of different things. So fun stuff. And we do encourage people, it's like, come take one. If you see a book on display that interests you, feel free to take it, take a look at it. And if you decide not to take it, you can just leave it on a shelf somewhere. But to really encourage that sort of opportunity for almost a spontaneous discovery of something that isn't, ChatGPT giving you information or that ad on Google or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, I love that. I'm really excited for when I see that shift, I'm really happy because I feel like it's an actual shift and maybe it's not going to be just a trendy thing. I think people are actually going to lean back into that more permanently.
I think we're kind of at a wait and see, but there is something very durable about that physical copy. And I mean, even just with English classes, being able to read a physical book, that demand is really there from students. And even just with reading comprehension, there have been some studies recently showcasing that retention of material tends to be better if it's in the physical format, especially with nonfiction stuff.
So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I feel like that need for that way of researching, the way of interacting with the world, that's very enduring, and I feel like that's good for the library, and it really is a testament as to why things like the library are important, like why this new library building is something that students should look forward to, should visit, should interact with.
And that's how I kind of see our library kind of is a place for things to happen and for students to go. And there's also no pressure. It's like you don't have to walk in with some sort of purpose. You don't have to show an ID. We don't keep track who goes in and out of our building. So you can come in and use it. And if the only thing you're doing is getting out of the rain or out of the heat, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a space for students on campus like that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what this new library has to offer for the upcoming year.
One other area of the library that is going to be really exciting to have is we're getting a new archives room, and it's going to be much larger than the one we currently have now. And so my colleague Michelle Sanchez has been working on that with some of the staff, but because we're a very old college, so we have a lot of old stuff, and some of it's super interesting. And so that's going to be really interesting to be able to kind of take more advantage of that.
That's cool. And then wrapping it up, what do you think is one thing you want students to get excited about with both the old library and the new library?
With the old library, I think it's going to be used as a swing space. It served us well. I worked in it for over 2 decades. With the new library, I think one of the things that's going to be exciting about it is, again, having that first space. From a personal standpoint, I'm looking forward to the views. I'm looking forward to seeing the trees grow, the ginkgos, and I think they planted some oak trees as well. So just having kind of a space that is newish, where hopefully we're not having to worry about, finding electrical cords or other things. I think that's going to be kind of nice to have. And also with all the increased windows and sort of that connection with the environment. We feel part of the natural world and not separate from it.
How can students stay updated or get involved before and when the new library opens?
We do have an Instagram account. I don't maintain it. My colleagues who are much better at that do, but that's the place where we are posting information. We also have a Discord server, and Justine, who's one of our clerks, is the one that has implemented that and is helping to maintain it. So those are the 2 places that you may not think of other than sort of, the Panther emails and sort of other things that you get from us or see walking by that maybe people don't know about that might be a good place to look.
That's good. Well, thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Come and visit us. Again, hopefully first day of spring semester. It sounds like we may have some things to celebrate it. We don't have like a hard launch date when they're going to have a grand opening, but I think we're going to be doing some grand opening type things, so stay tuned.
Oh, yay. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much again. I really appreciate having you as my first guest. And then where could we find you?
Easiest way, you can find me on the Chaffey email or at the Rancho Library, and my office is currently in CAA. I might be in transition, we'll see, but definitely at the new Rancho Library as well, so stop by and say hi.
And that was the very first episode of What's in the Wind. Special thank you to the listeners of our very first episode. I look forward to sharing more with you all in the future, so please stay tuned. Again, my name is Loureyna Pablo, and this was What's in the Wind by The Breeze.